Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club.
Hello and welcome back to Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. I am Oliver Ivan Jones. Okay, fuck, what was this? Ted Theodore Logan Esquire.
I'm doing Esquire. I'm having Esquire.
And I'll just do Rob Kenyon.
Rob, you can do the Duke of Rob.
The Duke. Yeah.
It's the bit where they
Nice.
and I am the Duke of Ted.
I am the Duke of Rob. Inson. I think this should be the introduction. Leave this in. This
is great.
Well, it's Ted Theodore Logan the third, isn't it, or something like that? And then
It just says Billis Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan.
Okay, I'm going to start again. Hello and welcome back to Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. I am Oliver Ivan Jones.
I am T.A. Wagstaff, Esquire.
And I am Rob Kenyon.
Yeah, good stuff.
Beautifully done, guys. Beautifully done.
How are you all? You good?
Good, very good. Yeah, just surviving.
Doing anything fun this week?
Got wet because it's
Hang on,
absolutely
wait.
Whoa!
not in a good way. As I've mentioned previously, I've had no hot water for 5 days. 6 days I've been washing out of a bucket. And someone's phoning me. What's going on? That's right. Carry on.
How are you, Tom? You alright?
I'm good, man. I've had water. I've had my first wash of the week today, though.
Hey!
You should have done it in the bathtub. That would have been a first.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Could have had a few candles around you and stuff, and it would have been.
Oh, I'll send you.
Sexy.
Did you see my photo of my posh bath?
I did actually, yeah.
Oh God, it was spectacular.
What have you been up to this week, Tom? Anything?
What I've been doing? I've just been staring at the screen, drawing things. That's been nice. Eating food. Had a little barbecue in the garden yesterday. That was quite nice. Just got 2 of those disposable barbecues. It's my new favourite thing, just sitting there with the dog, just burning things. It's good. Well, food.
We forgot to mention Rob's got a dog.
I have got a dog, yeah.
And his name is, or is it her name?
It's a her. It's a Brody spelt with an IE, so it's named after the Jaws chief.
Because is he a Y? Is he?
Yeah, he's Y.
B-R-O-D?
BRODY. And someone's just because I'm filming this on my mobile at the same time. Someone's just rang me, so I just had to put my phone on airplane. So there might be a little period of time where you just might have to blur me out for a minute.
Right.
But I'm back now. Hi.
Ollie will animate you, don't worry.
Yes, please do.
I built a proton gun this week.
Oh, nice.
Hey, nice.
Is that scratch built or is that kit? I can't see.
Well, basically, I bought that proton pack a while ago. Ah, shit.
Is that a toilet flushing?
Yeah, so I bought that a while ago.
Nice.
And it came with a gun on it, but the gun was like way too small and really shit. So I found this guy who makes his own, and I said, "Can you shrink it down to 80% so it fits that proton pack?" And he sent me all the parts, so
Hey.
I just sat on the
Toilet.
living room floor the other day and just just glued it all together the other day.
And made
Just
the
to have
sound
it for about-
effects.
Yeah.
I'll pre-warn you that I have just drank a really strong coffee, so if I disappear mid-interview, it's just because it's pushed out a dump. So
That seems
It's
to
all
be
right.
just like a tradition with this podcast. I'm always disappearing, so go for it.
I've got the sound effects at the ready.
Bloom. I don't know. I put my hand out there. So yeah. Anyway,
So
Moving on.
So we've come together today to talk about probably one of like my childhood favourite franchises, which is actually coming back again later this year,
hopefully,
and that is Bill and Ted. I noticed some people call it Bill and Ted's because I guess it's like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and Ted's.
There's always an extra bit on there, Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Well, the new one, Bill and Ted Face the Music though, so you lose the S. Is that right?
Ooh, yeah, I think
Bill
you're
and
right.
Ted's. Yeah. So Tom, when did you first watch Bill and Ted?
Oof, I couldn't tell you. I was very young though, and I remember the cartoon before I remember the film. I think.
Yeah, which actually Keanu Reeves and
They
Alex
voiced
Winter
it, didn't they?
voiced it, yeah. Well, the first series, the second series, which had a slightly different art style, they didn't voice that one.
I don't know if you can put it in here, but the theme tune to that, I've only just recently gone back and watched a few when you sent them to
Bill
me.
and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
He's only singing it so he doesn't have to edit it in.
I used to love the cartoon. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. But there was a live action series after that as well, wasn't there? I know I'm going all over the shop, but that wasn't as good by the look of
Oh
it.
no, it was diabolical. I sent you guys like a
Yeah,
version which had all of them. It was like 3 hours long with all the episodes, and it looks terrible. Like they had like the whole Missy stuff, and it was even more cringeworthy than the
Oh,
film.
Jesus.
So
With the dad coming in going, "Ooh,"
the
after
live
Missy.
action one, was that with Keanu Reeves and Alex
No.
Winter? Or was it
Just two
some-
guys that don't look anything like them, and they kind of work in like a. So Bill and Ted, I don't know if you see them at school, but they definitely work at like a Walmart or something like that. And the phone booth's in it, and there's Rufus is in it. But
I heard a really good description of the phone booth, the American TARDIS.
oh yeah,
I just like that. Yeah, that's good.
apparently that like that didn't spring to mind because apparently for the original film it was meant to be a van.
It's a Chevy, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like
Alright.
that.
Yeah.
Let's change it because of
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. And then I mean, there's a lot of like things about Bill and Ted that's like Back to the Future. But anyway, Rob, when did you first see it?
Oh, probably with you actually.
I borrowed the
Did you
tape
borrow it
off
off
of
me?
you.
I think it probably would have been one that my brothers had put on and made me watch, and I just sort of ended up loving it because it's one of those films again. I think when I said it about Jaws last week, it's you don't make films like this anymore. It's just so random, and it's just like a really silly idea. There's a couple of dudes who are going to fail their history exam so they get back in time. And that's pretty much it.
I mean, to be honest, they don't. To me, it doesn't seem like they learn anything about the past because they just get them. I mean, the project is weird in itself. It's about how the people of history would view San Dimas, where they live.
Yeah.
Which seems totally bizarre. But I do like that end scene though, when they've got them all on stage and they've got Napoleon.
I did learn some stuff from it. I learned that Beethoven isn't really called Beethoven.
Is it really called what? Sorry.
Because in the film he calls him Beethoven, doesn't he? instead of Beethoven. And for years, I thought his name was Beethoven. And the same with Socrates or Socrates, isn't it?
Socrates, yeah.
I got really confused, and that's just pretty much what I called him for the rest of my life until yesterday.
So yeah, for me, I actually remember borrowing that tape off
Oh god.
and bringing it home and annoying the fuck out of my parents because I think one day I watched it 5 times.
Classic.
But yeah, I actually had it like Rob was one of my best men with my friend Liam Delaney, and they hired out a cinema. And they put Bill and Ted on and The Thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember The Thing, but my recollection of watching Bill and Ted's is hazy.
I bet you can't even remember what you had for breakfast though, Rob, to be honest.
No, I can't. I think it's a medical condition called just being thick and not.
I think it's a brummy thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I just don't remember anything these days. People will tell me something. Oh, can you do that later? Or I need to buy this from a shop, and I'll be like, what? Or like, I don't know if you guys get it now. Maybe because we're getting older. Is that I'll think, I need to go and get that from the bedroom or downstairs.
Oh god, yeah.
All the time.
Walk into the bedroom and then be like,
why am I here?
what did I come in here for? So, I think it's just getting old, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, let's some facts about Bill and Ted.
So, would you say it was around the same time that Rob saw it? So you guys saw it together?
Yeah. So it was definitely before the second film came out because I remember being really excited for the second film.
What year did it? The first one.
The first one came out in like '89, so I reckon it probably could. To be honest, like with how long time used to take when you were a kid.
Yeah.
So if I saw it at the beginning of '91, by the time I saw the second one in the middle of the year, that 6 months probably felt like 3 years. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But
how old were we in 1989? 5.
Well,
6,
there's
something
about a
like
year difference between me and you, even though we were the same year.
that. I
I
was
think
the
there's like
youngest,
a
you were the
2-week
oldest.
period where me and Rob are the same age.
Yeah.
But Tom's a bit younger than us.
Am I a year younger than you guys? I'm 85.
So I think you're a year younger than Rob and then 2 years younger than me.
So how old would I have
youth.
been? 4, would it? Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, about
Nuts.
5 or 6, something like that. But so yeah, it was written by 2 friends called Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon, who were kind of like they were like in a stand-up group or something like that at uni or something, and created these like
Yeah, that's how it started, wasn't it? Started,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
standard.
As a stand-up.
yeah. And then
I didn't read that earlier.
Yeah. And then apparently the original script was a bit more like Back to the Future, where they had like a truck and stuff like that, and they
Yeah.
travelled in time. They had a friend who was a bit more of a hipster kind of guy, and that was what eventually became Rufus. But there's a lot of
Rufus.
so yeah, like even the first scene is a bit like Back to the Future, because you've got like Marty like playing his like electric guitar with that.
Yeah. Is
It
it?
blows
Is,
up.
Yeah.
And there's like smoke goes everywhere. And then
were
the
they in a
first scene of
garage?
this-
Is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the first scene of this, they're playing in there like somehow like Ted or Bill's dad has let them like completely ransack the garage because there's no cars or anything there. It's just full of amps and like wicked graffiti that says Wild Stallions.
Yeah.
They seem to be better at graffiti than they are playing like in
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. And
But, they like blow their amps as well, don't they?
I think
Can't remember.
Yeah, very similar. I watched it the other day, and like other people.
I was just reading here the original spec script. It was actually going to be called Bill and Ted's Time Van,
There you go.
and in the script they ended up in Nazi Germany, and after some hijinks, bring Adolf Hitler back to San Dimas.
I want to see that version.
I'd like to see that.
I've just also come to know that one of the original plots was to accidentally cause history's greatest tragedies, like sinking the
Okay.
Titanic and stuff. I don't know how true that is, but
What, like a
100
butterfly effect type thing?
115 out of 119 people found that an interesting fact, according to my sources. So
I'd say the one bit that I remember making me and Rob always laugh loads when we watched it as kids was when they go into the Wild West and like they land their booth in between 2 toilets, and it's got this guy.
is that Billy the Kid?
Yeah.
Going, and you just hear, like,
Is that where they get
Farts.
Billy the Kid from?
yeah.
Yeah.
So just farts in general always made us laugh.
Farts.
I remember, like, to be
farts
honest,
just
it wasn't
the
that long
best.
ago. Me and Rob were watching a fart compilation video.
Oh, is that when
Rob
I
was laughing that hard. I think he, like, cracked a rib or something.
No, I pulled my back muscles really
it.
badly just because I was like, it was, I think it was like the greatest farts. But there's like dudes like sitting on other people's heads and just letting rip, and
No, it's the one guy who pushes his ass against his door just so.
yeah.
We're
Just
so
so it makes that weird noise. Well, my dog yesterday actually dropped a right clanger, proper.
Oh, chewable.
It was it was a loud one. Tasted good.
So, depending on the size of your dog, does that depend on the size of the?
No, definitely not. I've got like a Chihuahua, and it stinks. It's I think it's what it eats, and Max like tends to just walk along Kingsheath High Street picking up literal shit. So yeah, his breath and his arse are very similar.
Do you find that the louder the fart, the less smellier? It's the
Does your dog surprise himself?
Sometimes.
Because that's
And
what
it's
Max
just
does. He goes, and then he looks like behind him, and he's like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck was that?" It's like they
Yeah.
don't realise the.
So, when dogs fart, you can audibly hear it.
Sometimes, yeah. It's the
Yeah.
ones that take you by surprise. So you just sat there, you don't have no idea there's a fart brewing, and then you'll just get this like real bad whiff. And it's usually the silent ones that I find are the worst.
See, I'm more of a cat man, so like, my cat was sitting on my lap the other day, and like,
Cat
cats,
don't stink.
From
though.
what I know, they don't. I've never heard a cat fart, but he was just sitting on my lap, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, it smelled like."
Are you sure that was the cat?
No, I promise.
I was going to say I
I
usually
own
blame
up
the
to my
dog
own
when it's
farts.
me.
No,
It
it
just
was like it
came
smelled
from
like
your
a
lap.
Savoy sausage from the chip shop. It was that around.
I remember. Do you remember Cassie, the cat we had, and it ended up like it looked like a hedgehog by the end of it because it was about 15 or 16 years old, and it had diabetes. You used to have to give it like insulin and stuff, and its fur got so matted and you couldn't comb it out. It developed dreadlocks. But her dumps, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our cat just does it outside, so he doesn't. We don't have anything in the inside. He does it all outside, as far as we know.
Yeah, or on your lap.
You need to see Tom's dog, Rob, because he's got like a little underbite.
Oh, he's nuts. Yeah, he's crazy looking. Yeah, exactly that. Bless him.
He's cute, though.
He's
Is it
downstairs
like,
at the moment having a mad.
I remember I picked him up once and he was just like...
Is it like, you know that episode of Simpsons where Homer gets that lobster and he's like, oh, look how cute he is, and it's like he sees it as really cute and then he holds it to Marge and it's like this weird thing.
See, I do think he's cute, but like he can be a little monster, but it's just like, well, it's going back to the film, it's like a Napoleon complex. It's just like, because he's so small.
He's small.
Just like, yeah, he's tiny.
Speaking
Isn't
of
that what-
Napoleon...
They describe him as a short dude, don't they, from history?
Yeah,
or
short
something?
dead.
Short dude.
Short dead dude, that was it, yeah.
So yeah, anyway...
Yeah, going back to Bill and Ted.
I find it funny though that Missy, who's like, I think she's meant to be like not a school friend, but she's definitely like around their age or a bit older maybe, just a tad. And I don't know how she ended up with like Bill's old dad.
Doesn't she?
Is it money? Is it?
Yeah.
I can't imagine it because like they end up like macking each other in like his own.
Well, she's just into old dudes, isn't she? She ends up with
Yeah, I was gonna say she ends up with Ted's. No, wait, it starts with Bill's dad and goes with Ted's dad by the end.
Yeah, there's a
that's
brilliant
right,
scene
yeah.
in the second one where there's like a party like at Bill and Ted's house, and like Bill's dad's just depressed in the background while Missy's making out with Ted's dad. But, do you reckon? In the third one, do you reckon she's with Death or something in the next one?
In the next one.
With the Grim Reaper.
Are
I
they-
know she's back.
Are they going to? Because obviously, I forget his name now. William, someone who
Atherton.
who plays Death. He's going to be very wrinkly by now, I'd imagine.
Have you not seen the picture? There's a picture of him.
He looks
there
like
actually
he's
a
going to
picture,
play
is
it
it?
well, man. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at
I
him,
hope so.
it's online. If you have a little look.
Let me get my little iPad going here and see if I can find one.
So yeah, anyway, the film itself was directed by Stephen Herrick. Yeah. And do you know
That
what films
guy.
he wrote, Tom? Do you know what films he made, Tom?
Do you know what I did from doing a bit of research today? But I don't know. You've asked me. No, go on.
Critters!
You tell me.
Critters!
Was
yeah.
it Critters? Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
You
don't
can
tell
see
Mum-
that though, can't you?
Yeah.
You can totally see that.
Don't Tell Mum the Babysitter's Dead.
Wicked film.
The Mighty Ducks.
Sick
Not
film.
so wicked film.
Oh, that film's ace.
Dalmatians.
Is that the hockey one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently they're bringing that back for like the Disney streaming.
Was Emilio Estevez in that one?
Yeah. He's in all of them.
Oh, right, okay. Charlie Sheen's brother.
But yeah,
So great. Sorry, I was just looking at
so
facts.
yeah, as Rob said, they go back in time to kind of get like people from history back to help with their like end of year presentations so they don't fail their class.
Yeah.
So who are your favourite characters from history that they bring back?
No, you go on.
No, I was going to say Napoleon just because of the water slide and the Ziggy Pig. Like the day out he goes on is just fantastic, man.
That's where I learned how to say shit in French.
Is it Merd?
Merde. Yes.
Yeah.
Merde. Ziggy Piggy. Ziggy Piggy.
But yeah, I'd definitely say Napoleon for myself.
If you look at pictures of Napoleon, have a look at him now, like drawings of him. He looks just like me. I look like Napoleon.
I've got a picture of the actor here looking very...
Anton!
Hey!
Oh, take your hat off again, dude.
He looks like the guy in RoboCop before he gets run over.
Before he melts.
Yeah.
It looks just like you, man.
Oh, man.
Hang on, let me turn it off.
That's
Get off my
brilliant.
screen.
Go on, Rob. Who's your favourite one?
I really like the guy who plays Sigmund Freud, and he's like, my friends call me Sigmund, but you may call me Shiggy.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever it is he says in the thing.
What a geek.
Abe Lincoln as well when he does his speech at the end, man.
Yeah.
These two great ones.
Party on, dudes! Whatever it is
My
he says.
favourite's Ao Leong, and he plays Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
And like
He is,
he's in loads of like 80s action films, like he's in Die Hard and
Oh, yeah, he is, yeah.
Lethal Weapon and
That's
stuff
funny
like that.
because
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, Big Trouble.
Death's
in
in
Little China.
Die Hard as well, isn't he? From the second one.
Oh yeah, he's the main villain, isn't he?
Ah, yeah, nuts.
Hey.
He's a good actor though,
Interesting.
man. He's in a lot of Frank Darabont films, so he's in like The Mist.
Yes,
And,
yeah, he's good in that as well.
And he's in Shawshank Redemption. I'm not sure if he's in The Green Mile though.
Do you know what one of my favourite films of him is? Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight with Billy Zane. I don't know why. It's a shit film, but I really enjoy it.
Wasn't Corey Feldman in one of those?
I know Halle Berry was it Halle Berry? No, Jada Pinkett Smith. She's in the that one. But I just remember this kid turning into this big weird monster thing and eating some woman with big boobs.
Fun fact for you, I think it's Peter Hewitt who directed the second Bill and Ted. I think he directed an episode of Tales from the Crypt. Or it actually could be
nice.
Stephen Herrick, it's one of them too.
So you know Joan of Arc as well. She was played by Jane Wielding.
Yeah, who's she then?
Good old Jane.
She was in a band called the Go-Go's. I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah, so I guess like what they're doing now, because I think they've got some musicians in the new film to play like historical figures. Like I think they've got a famous guy playing like Jimi Hendrix.
Right, yeah.
So maybe they're kind of doing a similar thing.
Yeah, I think they might be actually. But yeah,
So that's what I reckon they're probably going to do with the third one. Instead of getting like historical figures like, you know, Beethoven, they're probably getting like famous musicians back to kind of help them like.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's touch on a hot topic then.
Hot topic.
Hot topic, yeah. The t-shirts will be in there after it comes out. So, Bill and Ted, the babies, at the end of Bogus Journey, and I know I'm skipping ahead here.
With the beards.
So they were boys,
So
weren't
long,
they?
man.
Well, I don't think they necessarily say they're boys.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just say this is baby Bill and this is baby Ted.
But have you seen the controversy? I say there's probably about 10 nerds on Reddit, but who
Well,
was
they're boys, they're pretty girls.
But they're basically saying that. They're saying it's like political correctness gone mad or whatever you want.
Yeah, but
How do you feel about the idea of the main characters in this new film being girls, women?
I don't think they will be though. I think they'll
Do you
be
not
in
think?
it. I don't think they'll be the main characters. I think they're after the whole Ghostbusters thing. I think people are wise to not be. What was that noise then?
That was
Rob
cleaning-
wiping his hands with it.
I was cleaning
like-
some dust off. Computer.
Yeah, I think they probably might be a bit wise to kind of like it's nice to have that element in there because like there's a lot of iffy things in the first two Bill and Ted. There's a lot of
They use the word fag
a lot, which
in
is
both
it's bad.
films as well.
And so hopefully they can broaden their audience a little bit and stuff. But I think Bill and Ted will still be the main heroes of it. But I think the girls will still have a big part in it. But
I mean, I was thinking about the use of the word fag in that, and obviously they're acting and they're playing like two Valley guys, aren't they? So then it's of that era. So is it something that you need to pick up? I know it's not in today's climate. You can.
I mean,
speak
it's
like
one
that,
of those things. It is what it is. It's in the old films, and I think as long as people know it's a word, you shouldn't really call people, and it's a derogatory term.
Yeah,
It's like in Disney films, they've like edited out or like animated out a lot of racist stuff out of their old films, like from Songs of the South and Fantasia and stuff.
Well, Lion King had a bit of
Exactly. Yeah.
What was in Lion King?
No, Scarred. There's like a song towards the beginning of the film, and it's supposed to be something Nazi related or something.
What?
It's the way they animated it and stuff like that. But so Disney are like correcting a lot of things, or like not even releasing films because of that. But I think as long as you,
Everyone's a little bit like easily offended these days, I think. But
true, but I think
There's-
as long
there's-
as
yeah.
like, because I don't think things should be eradicated.
No.
But I think people should learn from.
I was going to say, because you'd
No,
go
move
through,
on.
like, say in the next 10 years, like, films would be whittled down to 10 minutes, wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean? Because, like, things change, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
But I just thought it was quite interesting that people were talking about that, and, yeah.
But going back to the whole Bill and Ted thing of their names, the girls' names. Do you remember there was a show called 2.4 Children?
Yeah, vaguely.
And the main woman in that, her name was Bill. So
There you go.
You can get
Well, Billy,
you say
it's
they
it's
If
a
Elon
joint
Musk
name,
can
isn't
call
it?
his child
what's his
49XY or something like that.
Is that a Slipknot song he's named her after?
I think it is.
It's one of them is the element of peace or something like that. I don't know. I don't think a peace is an element, but
See, I'm
apparently
kind of
it means
into
peace in Japanese. I don't know.
like names like river, just inanimate objects, or like I don't know. Yeah, it's I don't mind like because it's Mercedes and like all the car names and everything, and now it's going to be Elon Musk's now going to make people use like fucking hyphen dash / ZX9 Spectrum. Yeah, Amiga. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like that though.
That's quite good.
Kid. Yeah,
I'm gonna have one called Commodore 64.
Commodore,
come here.
It reminds me
Nintendo
of
64. Go to your room.
We're on to something here, guys.
Sega Master System. Get
you
off
have
the
5 children.
chair.
PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5.
I've got an ex-girlfriend called Xbox One.
Don't cut it out.
I don't edit these. Man. They just stay as is.
Anyway, Bill and Ted.
Anyway, we're back.
Yeah, like unlike the sequel, it didn't have like massive like rock bands in it. It just kind of this is fucked already.
I'm giggling now. I'm done.
Yeah, so it didn't really have like massive like rock songs in it, but it had a wicked one called "Walk Away" by a band called Bricklin.
There you go. I always thought, I know this is the sequel, but you know the song at the end, God Gave Rock and Roll to Us. I always thought that was just an original song for the film. I had no idea it was done by, was it?
Kiss, but it's
Kiss. I
cover.
keep thinking ZZ Top.
Well, I went to go and see Kiss
beard.
last year, and I was waiting for that song all day, and I had my phone on ready just to record them playing "God Gave Rock and Roll to You," and they played it on the speakers after they finished when everyone was walking out. I was so gutted.
So the God Gave Rock and Roll to You is actually a cover. Kiss covered that. It's by a band called Argent.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't realise that up until a couple of years ago, man. But I thought exactly the same thing as Rob. I thought that was like the Bill and Ted song. Like
I thought Bill and Ted wrote and sang it.
Yeah, totally.
I thought this is like the greatest song in the entire world.
I do love the ending of that as well. When because it obviously goes all around the world, and you've got all these sort of stereotypes of like, here's France, here's the guy in France listening to it, and they ticked off all the stereotypes at the end.
Oh, is this at the end of
Bogus
Journey?
The Englishman is William Atherton.
Yeah.
He's watching himself because he's also.
It's a bit like the end of Cable Guy, but like
Kabla Goobla.
Cable Guy, they are all watching TV and then it all stops, doesn't it? Because it's like Jim Carrey falls in the, and then they start picking up books. But anyway, like does a Battle of the Bands get shown worldwide? I don't think so.
Is that one in a school hall as well?
I don't know, but it feels like
it does, doesn't it? It feels like they've just used the school hall from one.
So
yeah, it just seems to end the same.
So just to tie up Bill and Ted, the first one.
Excellent.
Do you have a favourite scene or moment in that film?
Ooh,
Tom.
Go on, Rob. You go first. Let me have a think.
You're trying to remember the film now. There's two. I think there's the water park with Napoleon. I think that's amazing. But I also love.
Is it called Waterloo or Waterloo or something like that?
Well, I guess it's the Waterloo based on history and Napoleon.
History.
I'm just making that. Fuck off, Siri. No one wants you. And then the montage in the hall, in the mall. Sorry, where they're all just getting mad and good. The piano playing and Beethoven playing on all the pianos in the store. I love that. They're probably my favourite scenes. So.
And isn't it? You've got Genghis Khan as well. Is it when he's
with the baseball bat?
Yeah, and is it the baseball bat? And he's using like the hockey sticks as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely awesome. But I remember the one little scene that blew my mind is when they're trying to break into the. I can't remember why they're going into the police station. They've got to get his dad's keys.
Yeah, the future. Right, this is where I get confused. The future Bill and Ted hide his keys at the police station.
That's it, because I remember it completely confusing the shit out of me as a kid.
I don't know how this
they all get
works,
arrested
though, because
That's the beauty of time travel.
It's like a chicken and the egg scenario, because they go, okay, after the presentation, we're going to go back in time, steal your dad's keys and put them there. But they're assuming that whenever this loop started, that Ted isn't all the way to like where's he meant to go to? Like,
military academy.
Military academy. Yeah.
So it's like a chicken and the egg. Where does it start?
Yeah,
they do it again in the second one at the end, where they're like,
when they play the mind games, don't they? Because I think
Yeah.
that was that they tested that in front of an audience, because the whole thing was meant to be that, like the actual battle at the end. Or maybe I'm talking shit here, but I was reading it.
We'll get to that. There's a whole different ending for Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
But I think for me, my favourite scene, I love the bit where they're outside the Circle K and they first meet Rufus.
Circle K, do you remember that in Warmley?
And,
There's one down the back of Warmley.
Yeah.
The what? Sorry, the Circle K.
Is it Circle K or
Circle K. It's like a convenient corner shop type thing.
Convenience store.
Do we have them over here? Or?
Yeah. Well, we don't anymore, I don't think. But there was.
Had one by Rob's.
There was one down the road from us.
I'm sure it wasn't the same chain, but it was definitely called Circle K.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I love that scene though, where they first meet themselves, like from the future.
Yeah.
And they first meet Rufus. I really like that scene.
What, the 69 dudes? Which
yeah, and it's got the cheapest
69 dudes.
The cheapest effect in Bill and Ted is like, instead of actually seeing the phone books land, most of the time it's just their heads going watching it.
Yeah.
Land, and then it will cut to it already on the floor. Oh yeah, that was the thing I was going to say about this film, because apparently like it took like 2 years for it to come out. So from the point it was made, it was just shelved for ages because the company that made it went bust.
What? I didn't know that.
It took 2 years for it to come out. So by the time it came out, the actors had pretty much forgotten about it. Because it was produced by, is it Dino Dillo? I can't pronounce his name. Dino De Laurentiis, who did like the Conan films and stuff.
Dino Dildo.
Yeah, that's the
Dildo
So what do you
Rufus.
think about-
Producer.
What do you think about Bill's top in the film?
I wish I could pull one off now.
Nice belly top.
Oh, yeah. I think there's just style icons, aren't they? I remember, I don't know if it's in this film actually, I think it might be the second one, his jacket with the smiley face.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really wanted that. It reminded me, Akira as well, when he's got the pill on the back. That jacket.
I've got a story to tell about that jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, I really, 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 really wanted one, and I kept bugging my sister because she was crafty. I was like, "Can you please make me like this?"
She's a crafty one, that Leonora is.
But for some reason, she never got round to it. So I tried to make my own, and I drew around myself, and I even sewed it. I don't think I even sewed it because I didn't know how to do it. So I stapled it together.
I'm trying to think if I
And I
remember
made
you doing
it, and it was that tight, and it was like this on me. But yeah.
Okay, I'll match that one. When I was younger, I wanted to look like Bart Simpson.
Did you paint yourself yellow? Dad, paint me yellow.
Paint me yellow. No,
Look at that tash! Can you
is
see that?
Amazing.
He's one of the characters in the film. He plays a cowboy, apparently.
From which film?
Bill and Ted!
Oh, in the original one.
Yeah, he's a cowboy.
I'd be proud of that stash.
That's
Go on then, yeah. So,
So
I'd cut my hair and I wanted it spiky, but didn't realise in my little brain that it's just gel that you'd spike your hair with. So instead, I just put my hair like this and cut triangles into it, thinking that'd work. I've got a photo somewhere. I'll stick it.
you need to dig that bad boy out.
there seems to be a common trend going on with you, Tom.
What, being absolutely thick? Oh dear. One thing we haven't mentioned before we go on to the next one is the fact that George Carlin was cast as Rufus as this.
He's amazing, such a dude.
And fantastic comedian, and I think he actually makes the film as well in some ways.
But he's the first person you see in the film, I think.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic.
He's good in every film that he's ever done, really, isn't he?
He actually voiced himself in the first series of the cartoon as well.
Did he?
Yeah. Did you know there was a toy line from this film?
I was just about to Google it while we were talking then, thinking what was the toy line, because there's got to be one.
I don't remember them ever coming over here, but I've tried to buy them, and I've got a lot of American friends, and they're like, oh, they're quite cheap to find, but if you want to get them, you've got to get them from America, and then you've got to pay your import tax, you've got to pay your postage, and by the time you've got one figure that's like this fucking big, it's going to cost you about £80 for one figure. It's like, fuck that.
I'm
But each of
sure
the
you
figures
can
had,
make
like,
some.
They had a
just make some,
strumming.
dude.
They had a strumming feature, so when you push their legs together, they strummed. But not
What
only
did
that,
they do,
you could buy
Ollie?
it-
Do that again.
I don't know what banjo string you're
What, I was going to
strumming.
say, what you strumming there, mate?
My friend posted a video on his Facebook page. He was like, "Don't stroke your dog off camera when you're on Zoom, because all you can see is this."
Hey, by doing that, I just hit 10,000 steps. So there you go.
Nice.
No,
But,
no.
Anyway,
so each figure had like a little plug in the back, and you could plug it into an amp, and then that amp you could then plug into like a cassette tape player, and the cassette tape player had songs off the soundtrack on it. So every time you like squeeze their legs, it did like a little bit of a riff of the tape. It would go,
Sick.
meow, meow, meow.
I want them now.
Nice.
That's worth £80.
But I think it came out after the cartoon or the second film, because Death was one of the characters in it,
yeah, I've seen
in the toys you could get.
it.
But you
Trivia.
could get like Billy the Kid and stuff like that, and Abraham Lincoln, and they all came with like drum kits or keyboards or something. It's a shame
Excuse
they didn't
me.
do station figures.
Station was the
Station.
weirdest thing. I know you don't want to get onto it just yet,
So,
but there's a
we'll get
weirdest
to it now.
Yeah,
so,
let's do it.
Bill and Ted's
bogus.
Bogus Journey came out
Journey.
in '91. Originally, it was going to be called Bill and Ted Go to Hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, any like, do you guys remember when you first saw this or anything? Or
How old were we? 91?
again, we were like
10,
6, 7, 8,
6, 8,
6.
9, 10. I'm not very
We
good
weren't
at
10
maths.
in '91, Rob.
No, I would have been 6.
So we would have been 8, 7, 8.
Something like that, yeah.
So we wouldn't have gone to see it on a cinema. For some
We
reason,
did.
I was going to say, my memories are that we saw
My
it on the
sister took
cinema.
me and you to go and see it.
I don't
Yeah.
think I saw it at the cinema. I think that was a video one. I think both of these might have been video for me, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember, the bit where they go through those tunnels, and there's that big rabbit and things like that. I remember.
in
I just remember that from being in a cinema for some reason. I don't know why that particular scene stands out. But
I just remember my sister walking me and you back home and walking up Ready Cap Hill. Was it Ready Cap?
Radicap.
And I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm not watching a film again because I don't want to forget how amazing Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey was. And I can picture where I said it and where I was.
I'm going to be controversial here and say I prefer it to Excellent Adventure.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's just, this is what I love about this film. It's a sequel that is nothing like the original film. Yeah, it's got a bit of time travel in it, but it's more of a, I don't know what you'd call it. Like, the focus has gone from the time traveling. It's all about going to hell or going to heaven.
Yeah.
And like reclaiming their bodies back. And you've got the robot version, the bad.
That was it, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's not as catchphrase heavy. I know you've got like the dude and man and all that stuff, but it doesn't seem to just rely on that, like...
The dude and the man.
The dude, the man. What else do they say? Bogus. I'm not doing very well here.
Whoa.
But no, I don't know, there seems to be excellent. A bit more weight to this one, in a stupid sense, if you can say that about a Bill and Ted movie.
Yeah. Maybe it's that they just didn't think the first one would get very far, and it did, and then that's thought,
Who's it directed by, this one? Because it's a different director, isn't it?
British guy called Peter Hewitt, and he directed... Did you ever see the John Goodman Borrowers?
Yes.
And I think he did Garfield and a film called Zoom, which is like it's like a superhero school with Tim Allen in it. And then he did Home Alone, The Holiday Heist, which is like a straight-to-TV.
Is that the one with the guy out of Third Rock from the Sun on?
No,
Or is
that's Home Alone 4, I think. And he plays Marv, the Daniel Stern character.
Oh, hi.
But yeah.
I always maybe he just squints all the time. So,
It's definitely like a more visually ambitious film, I think.
Third Rock from the
I think there's
Sun.
some amazing shots in there. I mean, all the stuff in Hell as well. It's incredible because Alex Winter plays his grandma, his own grandma.
that's
He
right.
does.
But I love the forced perspective sets in it, and it gives it that really off-kilter, like, kind of... So, like, the bit where, like, Ted goes into the... So, yeah, I'm sure you've all seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, but the setup is
Apparently.
that Bill and Ted are basically someone from the future comes back in time to kill Bill and Ted, so they can't basically save the world with their music.
Evil Bill and Ted.
And they send evil Bill and Ted, who are wearing the exact same clothes and looking.
Yeah, they just know, don't they? Well, it's bonuses of time travel.
I love that scene though when they go to the place from Star Trek and they keep
that's it. Yeah, they throw him off the cliff edge thing.
The cliffs.
I didn't realise that until I watched a YouTube thing the other day that is those famous rocks from.
Well, I think they're even watching the Star Trek episode in their
nuts.
It's like a throwback to it, isn't it?
Yeah, after they've had an argument with the princesses from the first film.
That's what I don't understand, right? The princesses from the first one, they rescue from England, don't they? Yeah. But they've got American accents.
No, they've got English accents in the second one.
Have they?
Yeah,
you sure?
Pretty sure. Yeah. I'm sure they have.
I swear when I was watching a 6-minute roundup this morning that
it's different babes though, isn't it? If I can call them babes.
I think it's the same actress.
You can.
No, I can call them babes. No,
I think it's the same.
I don't think it. Because I was watching something. Let me check.
There's definitely different ones in the new film. I know that. But,
I'll tell you what I really love about death. Obviously, comes into this film.
Yeah, amazing, because that's like the seventh
seal, yeah, and it's fantastic the way they do it as well, man. I think he makes that film.
To a duel.
That's it. They have to play games against him, don't they?
Yeah, but they choose to do
like
Your sunk my battleship.
Best 2 out of 3.
What games do they play again? Because I can't remember.
Twister's one.
Yes, yeah. I was looking back to the photos now, just to remind myself.
I'm not sure what else they play.
Twister Battleship.
Oh no, they play Cluedo, don't they? It was Colonel Mustard in the study with a candlestick. No, it was Professor Plum. That's what I said, Professor Plum.
Yeah, that was it. Don't they kick him in the balls at some point?
No, they Melvin him, which is
that was it. Yeah, they wedge him.
Melvin. Yeah,
that's the thing that came from this film, the Melvin.
And then he Melvin's the bad guy at the end, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Took it, yeah.
Anomalous.
Because that's it. He goes back. They go back somewhere at some point, and they replace his gun with and when he fires his gun, it comes out with a flag that says Wild Stallions.
Yeah, so it's the whole
chicken and egg thing. Yeah. I don't know.
But apparently, when they like wake up after they've died, it goes black and white, or like they're painted black and white.
Yeah, it's like
cool.
I remember it having like a bluey black and white hue to it when they're going through the tunnels.
They possess they possess Ted's dad, who is now with Missy, which is we alluded to earlier. Yeah. That's a great scene though when his dad pretends to be like.
Oh yeah, they step into people, don't they? Don't they come out their ear or go in?
Yeah, that's right. And when Ted's dad when he plays the guitar as
it's like
Ted.
An old blues riff.
yeah. I thought that was a really nice touch, man.
Oh God, so long since I've seen this.
So yeah, then they go to hell because they decide to hide from the Reaper.
Yeah. What is the tunnel bit then?
What tunnel bit?
You know where they're going.
Oh, so that's
I think when they're going through the rooms, isn't it?
So yeah, they try and avoid the Grim Reaper. They end up. I think they go and try to speak to Missy. Missy's like for some reason is doing like a séance.
Right.
She's got all her friends around her.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Her friends are the writers, and then they kind of like go, "Do these things ever work?" Bill goes to Ted, "Do these things ever work?" Ted goes, "No, but it will today." So they kind of like go, "Save the princesses, save."
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And then they get sent to hell.
Isn't there a bit where
you see hell with the devil? It's like it's meant to be based on an album artwork, but I can't think what it is. It's definitely some like 80s metal album.
Do they fall? Is it the bit where they're falling for ages and they're screaming, but they're really just
20 questions?
Yeah, and they're just really just lying on a black floor doing that. Yeah.
I've never done that in a film ever.
No, never walking up the side of buildings or anything. Turn the camera on its side and it works.
So yeah, then they end up in their own personal hell where you see, like, as Tom said, Bill talking to his own... No, he's got to kiss his grandmother, played by Bill.
That gave me nightmares as well.
Played by Alex Winter. And then you've got young Ted stealing his brother Deacon's Easter eggs. And then there's a creepy...
There's that giant... is it small? I can't remember. I seem to have frozen on the screen, but it doesn't matter. I'm frozen on my screen, so it doesn't really matter. I forgot to say, is the bunny rabbit small or big? I can't remember.
He's small, but in the alternative ending, they're all meant. So the ending of this film was completely changed, but we'll get. So then they go to heaven.
Yeah.
Well, no, they challenged the Reaper, so we've got to challenge the Reaper. They beat the Reaper. And so they said, look, we need some help. You've got to help us find somebody who can help us defeat these robot versions of us. So then he sends them to heaven.
Yeah.
They then meet Station, who are these two weird aliens with massive arm cheeks.
Yeah, I never understood those. They were the things that I'd never understood about the
I
film.
think Station was just a joke. They kept saying it for some reason, the writers, and then they just called a character Station.
I think he's one of the strongest like characters in it as well. It's
He's
amazing.
brilliant.
Yeah.
And then, so then they go back to Earth. They're all, Bill and Ted are put back in their bodies. And then they start creating the good robot versions of them, I love that scene when they're going around the hardware store.
Isn't part of one of them's a vacuum or something.
But this is what I don't understand. So Bill and Ted, so Station combined to make one entity to build the.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be? Would it be better if there was two of them to
build these new robots?
Yeah,
totally.
I don't understand what they are. They just look like Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
The I think they're called like goobers or something. They're like the bad guys, and they like to eat
like
Fraggles.
Sweetums or whatever. No,
I don't know.
I know which ones you mean.
They eat the Fraggles. It just looks like one of those to me. Does he get really big when he combines?
Yeah,
he goes tall. Apparently, one of the smaller ones was played by. Have you ever seen Bad Santa?
Yeah.
So the black elf in that.
Yeah.
He played one of Station, and he after one day quit because he couldn't stand being in the rubber suit.
I bet the other one's got to be. Oh God, the brains escape me now.
Van Dammed it.
Oh no, I was going to say the guy from Star Wars who plays
Kenny Baker or
every small person in
Warwick
it.
Davis.
Warwick Davis, yeah.
Oh, we've seen him a few times at Comic-Con.
Seen him.
He's so little.
Just a little fact for you. So Denomulus, the bad guy in this.
Yeah.
So that is Solomon spelt backwards.
Ah.
I thought that was kind of cool fact. Factoid.
Oh yeah, it's producer Ed Solomon's name, spelt backwards. So Denomulus is Ed Solomon. There you go. That's good. Let's work that out by myself.
I love the look of the good robot versions of them though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, totally.
But that scene though, I love it where they're in the hardware store and the Grim Reaper's looking at all the different kind of scythes.
Yeah.
He's trying them all out size, and then he walks past this one guy smoking a cigarette, and then he's like, I'll see you in 2 years.
That's one of the writers. Isn't it one of the writers?
He's something.
Director or something? Yeah.
You watched the same YouTube video I did.
I didn't. I'm reading it right now. I know all these facts because, I'm just such a movie buff.
Fact man, Rob.
Dictionary corner here. I'm just checking everything.
What else was I going to say? Isn't Pam Grier the woman that kind of holds the Battle of the Bands? Is she the host of the Battle of the Bands?
I don't know.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah. Before she did Jackie Brown and stuff.
Yeah, no, you are right, yeah. That's her. I'm sure that's her.
Pamela Grier is.
Have you seen what Missy looks like now?
No.
She's old.
She's old.
So she's probably in her 60s now.
She's going old.
I know they've changed the babes in the new film, even if they haven't changed them between 1 and 2.
No, they did, yeah. They was different in the second one.
To be fair, though, Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves still look good today, though.
Yeah, you got to give it to them, yeah.
Did you see the recent advert? I think it was a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, and then come out the time machine.
Yeah, and it's a de-aged Alex Winter with the current aged Alex Winter. He looks great.
I've not seen that.
No,
so I wonder if they're going to do a bit of de-aging in the new one.
I hope
because they're using footage of Rufus from unused footage of him from the first and second films and putting Rufus in the new film.
Is that how they're doing it?
Hopefully they do it better than Carrie Fisher in the new.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah.
I've not seen it.
Don't bother, man.
No, I won't. But I swear I don't know if I'm making this up or I dreamt it, but they're on about Rufus's daughter featuring in it.
Yeah. So she's played by the girl from Flight of the Conchords. The the groupie of Flight of the Conchords.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. Yeah. She is. I like her.
But there's a weird bit in this film though. So the babes go to Missy's house to hide from the evil robot Bill and Ted, who at that point they don't realise it's the evil robot
Yeah.
Bill and Ted. They think it's just the normal ones, and they're acting like complete arseholes. Also, there's a great scene where they're in their bedroom and they're like kind of like taking off their heads and playing basketball with their own heads.
Yeah.
And there's some great like static fake headshots.
Yes,
Oh, like
in the
Bill's
bottom of
head
the
in
bin.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so they go to Missy's house. Bill and Ted do, the evil Bill and Ted, and like they kind of kidnap the princesses and like knock out Missy with like her evil breath. But then later on, when it comes to the Battle of the Bands and it's been screened on telly, Missy and all of her friends are sitting down excited to watch the TV show, and I'm like thinking, hang on a minute, that doesn't compute. So I wonder if that is like an error because of the whole ending change.
There's just so much that doesn't make sense.
So yeah, the original ending was meant to be that all their incarnation, their like personal hells come back to Earth to kind of attack them. So Colonel Oates comes back and he's like got like massive guns, and then you've got the bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
It comes back as a more evil bunny rabbit. I think I showed you guys some pictures of
Yeah,
it.
I
You
was
look on the
gonna say,
internet,
yeah.
you can find. And like they're like the bunny rabbits on top of the bus scratching and stuff. In fact, this may have been in the comic book version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I used to buy the comic book, and the comic book was quite cool because you said Ted's jacket's got the smile on the back.
Yeah. I'm just
So
trying to
that
find a
emotes
picture.
in the comic book. So so if he's happy or sad or upset, that face will change like on his background, on his back.
Ah,
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably too hard of an effect to do back in the 90s.
Also, one of my favourite bands is in the Battle of the Bands and would totally kick Wild Stallion's ass, and that's Primus. And they play Tommy the Cat.
Yeah, it's ace that is, man. I mean, who else is on this soundtrack as well? Because there's some.
You've got Megadeth. You've got one of my favourite bands who you hate, but Faith No More. It's a song called Perfect Crime.
And he's actually in the film as well, isn't he? But now been kicked out of the band because he's a sexist prick.
Oh yeah, he's a racist, isn't he?
Oh, is he a racist?
No,
or
he's
a
not.
sexist?
No, he's not. He's homophobe, isn't he?
Homophobe. Sorry, yeah.
He's all three by the sounds of it.
He's a sexo-homophobe.
Hey, there's Max.
No.
Max is behind you.
What's
Huh?
that?
Max is behind you.
Is that a
How
dog?
have you got in? How did you get in here? Is that
What
a
is
dog
it?
or a cat? No, we'll show you.
I can't see.
Where you
You'll
going?
see him.
Oh, it's like, what is it? Hang on.
No farting.
Oh, hello. What's his name?
Max.
Hi, Max.
Max by name, Max by nature.
Max can't hear me because you're wearing earphones, but... Hi, Max. How are you?
Hi, Max.
He likes it.
My dog absolutely stinks at the moment just because we went out for a walk in the rain, and for some reason it makes him smell like a combination of egg and farts. Or eggy farts. So
You don't smell of eggy farts today, do you, Max? You smell quite nice.
So yeah, who's your favourite character in this film then?
Ooh. I was going to say, I think it's the bad, evil Bill and Ted. The bad, evil.
The bad, evil.
Bad, evil. The evil Bill
No,
and
that is
Ted.
good.
What I loved about it, because I was a massive Terminator fan, I think I'd seen Terminator before I'd seen this, and I know
In a
that's
bit where they pull their faces and you see.
yeah, and it just reminded me of
exoskeleton.
I think that's what it's meant to be like.
Yeah.
Like Terminator. But I remember loving that and just wishing I could build one, or you know about the good ones. But yeah, also Death as well. I think he actually. Like the way that Rufus made the first one for me, I think Death makes the second one for me.
Yeah, because Rufus isn't in this film much. Like he's in the intro scene when he's like,
and he gets sucked into the what's it of time.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
he's got like a grapple hook.
He
guitar
throws a
or something.
flying V into the top
nice,
of it.
nice
look at them.
picture. It's, looks like
Cool,
Noel.
dude.
Looks like Noel Fielding.
I love the line that Death does when he's like, Bill and Ted are like praise Station for building amazing robots, and then Death is like, but I made the wigs. All right, stop going on about the wigs. It's like, did you ever watch the Osbournes? And there's like a Christmas episode, and all Ozzy goes on about is how good his gravy was.
yeah, I remember that.
Well, made
actually.
gravy. It's good gravy, wasn't it? It's good gravy.
Great.
Never watched it.
Never
Unfortunately.
watched the Osbournes. It was good.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them, to be honest. Not a big fan.
Me and Tom are fans of the Sabbath boys and girls. Well,
Boys. And
Ozzy Osbourne, I used to...
Theo would class as a girl, wouldn't he?
So, do you guys have a favourite moment in this film?
I think for me it'd be the ending when God gave rock and rolls to you.
Yeah,
because I
agree
remember
with
like
that
the fucking hairs on my arms
Massive
standing
beards
up when I
they've
watched
got.
that.
Or no, Bill's got a massive beard and
Yeah, it's like, don't they disappear off in the time machine for like 18 months, like intensive guitar tuition, and then they reappear and they look exactly the same, but they've just got
this is
a
what I wonder.
massive beard.
Why didn't they choose to do the learning how to play guitar beforehand? Like, unless they haven't had access to the phone booth between the first and second film.
Yeah. Well, you just think you would have, if you want to be in a band, you might actually want to learn how to play an instrument, maybe.
I was going to say, no, this isn't about the film, by the way, but did you know there was... well, it's about Bill and Ted, but there was in Universal in Orlando, I think it was up until 2017, every Halloween, they had a night, like a show, and they had a Bill and Ted show on, and it lasted however long it was since Bill and Ted came out. I haven't watched on YouTube. It looks pretty good.
I've got it on video, dude. It's on at Universal Studios, and it was like they had Ghostbusters came out.
That's it. All the pop culture.
And Bill and Ted would come out. I've got it on video somewhere. I have to like upload it.
It's on YouTube, dude.
But I've got my own video of it, Thomas.
You've got your own video of it?
That I recorded myself.
There.
Oh, you were there?
I was there. I saw it with these.
Your own little peepers?
Yeah, man.
Your little peepers?
But yeah, I think I agree. Like, I think the evil Bill and Ted's are great. Like, especially when Ted like smacks his eye out and like they're like using it as a camera or things like that.
And
what do you reckon, Matt?
Station.
What do you think?
Well, who is your favourite out of Bill and Ted? Though, have you both got a favourite?
Didn't we used to play as kids, and I was always Bill, and you were always Ted?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I was going to say as a kid, I think Ted was my favourite, but they're pretty much the same. They're like two halves of one brain, aren't they?
When you were asking me which one's your favourite, Bill or Ted, I couldn't differentiate then. I was just like, which one's Bill and which one's Ted?
Well, they are, like I said, they're like two halves of one brain.
Yeah.
But do you think like Wayne's World came from like Bill and Ted as well, or like
aren't they in Wayne's World at some point?
I don't think
Don't
so.
Wayne? I swear Wayne and Garth meet Bill and Ted.
Only in your dreams.
Yeah, I was going to say I've not seen that one.
Somebody Google that. I'll Google it. Hang on.
I know that Wayne like existed in Canada on like a TV show before that. Then Garth came in when he went on SNL, and I don't know if that was after Bill and Ted.
Right.
And then
hang on.
And then like Beavis and Butthead are like the mean-spirited. Beavis and Butthead are like the mean-spirited Bill and Ted, aren't they?
Oh, he's in the Red Hot Chili Peppers video.
Oh, he is. Knock Me Down.
If you see me getting high, well, he's not credited as being in Wayne's World, so I may have dreamt.
There you go.
I swear to God, let me have a look on YouTube.
But yeah, they both had like radically different careers, haven't they? So Alex Winter did like
He went behind the camera, didn't he?
and he went behind the camera and he did.
I've just opened YouTube, and the last thing I looked at was cutting girls' hair, because
Are you cutting Becky's hair?
this weekend I've got to cut Becky's hair.
Really? I think you should video
go
that.
wrong.
You should definitely video that. Did I ever tell you about the time I cut Isaac's hair, Tom? And we videoed it, and he was that pissed, and I was cutting Mohican into his hair, and he kept head banging to Slayer as I was trying to show him his head. I've got that on video somewhere as well.
Well, maybe I did dream it. I don't know. God,
Oh my God! Can you see this? Look at the hair coming off this dog.
What?
Oh, dude, jeez.
Everyone's frozen.
Molten.
So yeah, there's the
I don't know
third
what's going
film's
on.
coming
Everyone's
out.
frozen. Pretend that.
I'm
Any
looking forward to it.
I
hopes?
can't hear you.
Do you reckon it's meant to come out on the 21st of August? I don't know, this climate.
No, I don't think it's like.
I've dropped
How are films
out
going
of
to
the
come out from
car.
now on? Is it going to be joint theatrical release?
I'm back!
Hey, there he is.
Hey! I dropped.
Did you hear us, Rob? Like,
I
the
heard
third
none
one's
of
coming
that.
out.
At
So
all.
the third one's coming out. Are you excited?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's probably one of the most eagerly awaited films for me, just because I've
Well,
always loved it.
Ghostbusters isn't coming out this year, but
No, but I when I saw the photos and saw that Keanu Reeves has shaved off his beard. I was quite disappointed because he looks quite cool with a.
Just look very
Yeah,
handsome with that beard, doesn't it?
I got distracted actually. Yeah, so Bill Alex Winter became a director, and he's got a new one coming out, which is based on Frank Zappa, which I can't wait for.
Right.
Oh, what is
I've
that?
just-
What's wrong?
Oh, all right, okay.
What's
I'm
that?
just watching Wayne and Garth meet Bill and Ted, but I think it's just someone's created their own video of it.
Send us a link to it. We'll put it on the.
Yeah, they have. They've just cut the two films together.
But
Anyway.
Keanu Reeves has somehow become the internet's darling. Like everyone loves Keanu Reeves these days.
He's just a lovable guy, though, isn't he?
Apparently, he's meant to be a genuinely like really nice guy, isn't he? Like apparently for
he gets
the second and
subway
third
like
Matrix.
real people, doesn't he? As well. Have you
Yeah,
seen
like
the
for the-
photos
Yeah.
of him?
The second and third Matrix films, he gave all his money to the stuntmen and women.
Well, he should do because those films were shit.
Well, they're making a fourth one now, aren't they? But that's got stopped.
Do you know
Yeah.
what? It's been
He's
stopped.
got a beard.
Well, because of COVID.
Oh, right. Perhaps this is just the
Coronavirus.
fucking Matrix we're in now. That's
Maybe.
what's going on. But I'd actually like to see this fourth Matrix film because as long as they ignore, you know how people have this tendency to ignore the like three
I
films
see.
afterwards.
Like Superman Returns.
Yeah, like can they ignore those shit ones after the
Jaws
first
4 ignores Jaws 3.
yeah.
Yeah. Skip straight to Jaws 4.
It's Jaws 3D. What's
best
I gonna say?
Jaws.
Yeah, I'm quite interested to see the Matrix film, man. I love that first one.
The
The first one,
incredible.
yeah. I think I watched the second and... How many more are there? 3? 4?
There's
1?
two, and then there's the video game Enter the Matrix.
Yeah.
And then there's like the
Ooh.
Animatrix.
Talking
Very
about video
interesting.
games, did anyone own the Bill and Ted games?
There was one on the NES, wasn't there? To be
That
like
was
shit, like an
dreadful.
isometric. It's like an isometric thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was watching it on, the Angry Video Game Nerd. I was watching it.
Yeah, I was watching that today as well.
Yeah, I was just like, what the fuck is this?
So apparently, like in that, like the people who come back from the past are like Elvis Presley and
Yeah, and you have to phone them through the phone book, don't you?
yeah.
Do you
So yeah, going back to the third film,
Yeah.
apparently there's a competition where you can actually be in it.
Yeah,
Well, it's not a
you
competition
mentioned that, didn't
essentially.
you?
I think you just record a video of yourself like playing guitar or like air guitaring, and then they might include you in the film somehow.
I think that's kind of cool, man.
We should
Let's
do
send
it.
this.
Do it now,
video
Ol.
to them.
Yeah.
I'm playing like Tom Morello.
How do you play guitar, Max? He doesn't. He plays drums. He's just said.
Ah, he plays
On
the
percussion.
guff trumpet.
The guff trumpet.
Max Wagster.
This is actually my bellows. My what do you call it? What's the word for it? Fucking
Like
hell.
bagpipes.
The bagpipes. Yeah. I'm fucking Jonathan
Max
Davis. Well there, Max. Let me give me a hand. You make a
Yeah,
lovely
okay.
tune, darling. I feel like an evil villain today.
Just stroke.
So all right,
it
so
down.
we've wrapped up our Bill and Ted chat, I think there. But I agree with you though, Tom. I reckon it'll end up coming to
60%
stream.
billion.
I reckon it'll end up on Netflix or something like that. To be honest,
It's got to come out in the cinema. Just
I'd
because.
rather that. But if they're still dedicated, if they're still like
Yeah.
pushing forward for the August 21st, then I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Apparently the trailer's out in a few weeks.
have they actually finished filming it now?
Yeah, they finished
So it's
filming
all
last year.
I want to know if they're going to take any sort of modern day, because obviously phone boxes are a little bit obsolete now, aren't they? They're just used to either
Oh,
piss or
don't tell me
shoot.
they're going to use mobile phones.
I was going to say
No,
they're
there-
going to
there
switch
is-
to like a
Heading, man.
No, I've
a
seen
mobile
footage.
phone.
I've seen footage of them both coming out of a phone box, so don't worry. You know the top of the phone box? The little
Is that why
antenna?
they were so homophobic? They come out in this one.
So you know the top of the antenna? It's an umbrella.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's an umbrella without the...
I like how they stick it back together with gum in the first one.
Oh yeah, when they're in like the caveman era.
They all literally just chew like a massive piece of gum and stick it together.
I wonder
and
if that
it
was written to
works.
be dinosaurs, and they're like, we haven't got the money to do dinosaurs. So it's just going to be like
They were in the cartoon, weren't they? The
Booga
dinosaurs.
Booga cavemen.
I can't really
the
remember
cartoon was- The cartoon, I think, some of them, they went into like books and TV shows. Like there was have you ever seen the film Pleasantville?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
what's his name? Spider-Man. What's his name? Toby.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, him and Reese Witherspoon, they get sucked into a TV show.
Is it black and white?
show.
And then when they have sex,
and it's like
all...
a sexually repressed like TV show, and they like, because of their actions, they put colour into they change it to a colour like film. It's quite impressive.
Yeah.
But Bill and Ted actually go in the cartoon. They go into a black and white show, and I think it becomes colour by the end. And they did it like 10 years before that film came out.
Ah, nice.
So there's some copyright infringement going on there.
Probably. But it's like they say that Inception was based on like ripped off from a DuckTales episode or comic book where the villains go inside Scrooge McDuck's mind when he's asleep to steal the combination for his
that's quite good.
For his bank vault. And there's also a Japanese anime called Paprika that's very similar, and a film called The Cell where they go inside serial killers' minds to kind of get their find out where they've like kept all their.
It all started
victims.
with the Disney.
Yeah. So that will wrap up our Bill and Ted talk for the day. But me and Tom have been talking about some other episodes we want to do. So if you want to join in on some of these, Rob, you're more than welcome. But we definitely want to do one on Spawn, which is one of mine and Tom's favourites.
Yeah,
you can't leave me out of that.
But you'll like these, Rob. So we want to do the Terminator franchise, I think.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen a new one yet, but I've got it to watch.
I want to do the Rocky films.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking it might be fun just to do one on Arnie films in general, outside of Terminator.
Can I...
what?
I was going to say, can I throw a suggestion in for one I would like... Well, there's two that I'd like to do. Lost Boys.
Oh!
If you want to have me as a guest. And Point Break.
No, hang on. We didn't hear you. We didn't hear you. You broke
both of us then.
Fuck you! You hear me now? Lost Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, we've said we'll do that.
And Point Break. They're the two that I'm quite interested
Going back to Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. Give me 2, Utah! 2!
Actually, isn't one of the Chili Peppers is in that film?
Yeah, Anthony.
Max has suggested K9, Homeward Bound,
Snow Dogs,
Turner and Hooch.
All
good dogs go to heaven.
You can do that with Rob's dog.
So
I'll bring my dog.
I think we should probably do an Alien Redux.
Yeah. Let's do the reboot.
What else was I thinking of earlier today that I'd like to do Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like we could do a Last of Us like when the new game comes out.
Yeah, no spoilers, please.
Yeah, true.
I've avoided them.
I've avoided them all.
Yeah. I haven't looked at any comments on anything.
But yeah, if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, like, you know, we're not exactly the most clued up or
anything you'd like us to babble on about.
Yeah, we'll go on about it. Try to at least anyway.
Yeah, and I'll just hijack and come along for the ride.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I had some other ideas, but they've totally gone out of my mind now. But I'd like to do Jurassic Park. I don't know if I said that one.
Yeah, you said Jurassic Park. We're there. I'm sure we said some other bits and pieces, but yeah.
Fuck it.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, The Crow. We said The Crow.
Oh, The Crow. We'll definitely do
The
Crow.
Yes, let's do The Crow.
Because that's got some good story and with
I
the
think
fact
Tom
that
should dress up like a goth in that one.
That's what we were talking about. We were saying we might do some records, talk about some music.
Music. Oh yeah, and a Kevin Smith 2-part I would like to do.
Yeah,
like looking at his older films and his newer films.
I don't know anything about Kevin Smith.
All I remember, Rob came to see Zach and Miri with us.
Yeah.
And all of us said, I'd see Rob doing this.
Wafting that fart over.
He was wafting farts at me.
No way.
You know, this is part of life. It's just what happens.
He's a good friend.
He is.
That's what. Yeah, no, that's what good friends do. If a good friend doesn't waft a fart in your nose, then what kind of friend are they? If I could digitally waft one in your face right now, I'd do it.
Nice one, Max.
Television.
Dropping that one out. I'm going to have to go because I'm now covered head to toe in dog hair. Not shit.
Oh, right.
And I'm sneezing. My nose is tickling, so I want to go change my clothes. But should we wrap this up then, Mr. Oliver?
All right, cool. Yeah, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify now, so please subscribe, rate and review. That'd be really nice. Follow us. Don't follow us in real life, all that shit. I'm Ollie. See you later.
I'm Tom. See you later.
And I'm Rob. Excellent.
I was gonna say, and remember, party on, dudes.
Party on, Garth.
Party on, Wayne.
Wrong film.
Sweet, man.